So thank you everyone for joining us for how to turn a virtual career fair into a job offer. My name is Shannon Seibel and I'm a career coordinator in career development. We normally have how to turn a career fair into a job offer before our semesterly career fairs. But this one, since we're in a virtual environment, there's some added information about virtual career fairs and how to prepare for them. So first, we'll talk about what is a career fair. So a career fair is an event that brings together employers and those looking for employment, volunteer, or internship opportunities. So what are the differences between a career fair and a job fair? For the most part, those differences are minimal, but a big one to keep in mind is that career fairs provide more opportunities to network and explore opportunities linked to full-time positions after one graduates. And so will you get a job at a career fair? Probably not, but they are a really great opportunity to make a positive impression on employers and get invited to interview. So it's a great way, to network with them and make those connections that can get you one step closer to a job. So before the career fair, here are some things that you want to do. The first one is research the employers coming to the fairs. So look at the employers list, decide which ones interest you, visit their websites and find out who they are, what they do, and why you might want to work there. You should also update and polish your resume. So create a resume based on the field that you're interested in. If you want a chef's job, create a chef's resume. Make sure that your resume has your contact info, your desired positions. It includes your education and work history, your leadership positions, volunteer experiences, and other relevant experiences. And make sure that you're also including your skills, abilities, and certifications. So that's, those are all places to list names of programs, tools, and licenses that you can operate and or perform. Create a career portfolio. So this includes any field-specific examples, such as graphic design samples, presentations, articles that you might have written, web pages, pictures, research, and more. Whatever is relevant to your career field. You also want to make sure that you're dressing professionally for a virtual environment. So it's important to remember that it's better to be overdressed than underdressed. And I would also suggest fully dressing professionally. I know it's really tempting to just have a professional top on and then maybe have your sweatpants or pajama bottoms on. But there's a couple reasons why I suggest dressing professionally head to toe. The first being, if you have to stand up while you're on a video chat with an employer, you don't want them seeing that you've only dressed professionally from the waist up. It might give them the impression that you're not taking it that seriously or that you don't really care, even though we all know that that's not true. So that's one reason. Another reason is that if you are dressed casually from, say, the waist down, you might not be in the right mindset, for the career fair. Dressing professionally from head to toe can help you, get in the mindset, get in the mood to, to talk with potential employers. And then another thing that you want to do is prepare your sales pitch or elevator pitch. And this can be done in 4 easy steps. So the first one is to give your name. The second one is to either mention your year in school or your job title with company name or the job that you are looking for. The third step is to state your experience, skills, and accomplishments quantitatively. And then the fourth one is to give a unique selling point for yourself. What makes you special? What makes you different from everybody else that they're going to be talking to that day? So some other things to consider specifically for virtual career fairs. is to use a computer and a table or desk if possible. I say if possible, because I know, you might not have a computer available or a table available to use, but if you can, we highly suggest using them. Just because if you have your computer on your lap or if you're using a phone, your video might be shaky then, and it can be distracting to whoever you're speaking to. Also, have a professional background, either real or virtual. So you don't want either, say, your dirty laundry or some bright lights behind you. So make sure that you have a clean, professional, typically not very busy background behind you. And you might want to consider using a virtual background as well. So there are on several of the video platforms, you can use a virtual background. Like I know Zoom does. If you use Google Meet, Chrome has an add-on that you can use to have a virtual background. And those are just a couple examples that I know of. You want to make sure that you are looking directly at your computer camera as well. Since you're unable to maintain eye contact, which is what we would normally suggest if you're meeting in person, that looking directly at your computer camera is almost like maintaining eye contact with someone. And similar to having a professional background where I talked about lighting, you want to make sure that you have good lighting in general to make sure that whoever you're speaking to can clearly see your face. And you want to make sure that you have good sound as well. So there's not a lot of background noise. They can clearly hear you. So things like that. And then if possible, try to do a test run with the technology involved beforehand. So whether that's making sure that you know how to utilize Zoom or WebEx or whatever video platform that they're using, or if you're attending our career fair tomorrow, which is on new hire, making sure that you know how to utilize those platforms. And also find out beforehand what you should do if you're having technical issues the day of. So for instance, on new hire for our career fair tomorrow, you should see information about how to contact us if you're having technical issues. So see if you can find that out before the virtual career fair. So before any career fair, you should prepare your answers to questions that you might be asked and prepare questions to ask recruiters. So some common questions that you might get from recruiters are, can you tell me about yourself? And this is a good question where you can answer with your elevator pitch that we talked about developing earlier. Another common question is, what do you know about this company? And so this is where your employer research comes in. Make notes on the companies that you're interested in, including who they are, what they do, and most importantly, what makes them special. Why do you want to work for them specifically? Another common question could be, what motivates you to do a good job? So responding with something like pay isn't really a good answer because you want to make sure that you are showing your interest in that specific company and in that specific job. So maybe saying something like having responsibilities and being recognized for a job well done, or talking about specific things about company culture that might motivate you to do a good job. Those are some better answers. And then some questions that you might ask recruiters would be, what do you like most about working for your organization? Or can you explain the company culture or management style? And these questions are all important because they'll help you get a better idea of whether or not this is a company that you want to work for, or if a specific position that they're hiring for actually would be a good fit for you. And so that's kind of what you're trying to do with these questions. And then also asking, what are the next steps in the process? So asking them, how do I arrange for a formal job interview? Or how do I apply for this position? Or who should I talk to about about the specific position, all of those things, just so that you can keep the process of finding and getting hired for a job moving. So what are some questions not to ask at a career fair? So some things like, what is the pay range, or what are some of the company benefits or vacation time? All things like that, that again, don't show your interest in the specific job. Um, those are all questions that you don't really want to ask, when you're first meeting employers. And then also, can you tell me about your company? That's a question that you want to stay away from as well. Because like we mentioned before, you want to make sure that you're doing research on companies beforehand. So you should already have an idea about their company. Now, asking specific questions about the company, so maybe there's a project that they're working on that you saw that you want to learn more about, that's a question that you can ask. But if it's something that you could easily find just by doing a Google search or going onto their website, you want to stay away from asking about that. So during the virtual career fair, something you want to do is develop your strategy. So some experts recommend practicing on less desirable employers before you hit your top choices. Some others say go to your top choices first because recruiters get tired and lines can get long. So that is really a personal preference for you. I know myself, I do better if I'm able to practice and get more comfortable first. So that would be my strategy, but you might feel comfortable right away. And so you want to go, meet your top choices before they get tired. So just, whatever your strategy is, just make sure that you go in with one. Also, give yourself a pep talk. Job recruiters are there to recruit. If they didn't need employees, they wouldn't be at the fair. So they're there because they need to hire someone. So don't be shy about introducing yourself to recruiters, and don't be shy about talking yourself up to them as well. You only have, like I said, don't be shy. You need to make an impression. You only have a few minutes to make an impression. So you want to make your conversation short, interesting, and memorable. So give them your sales pitch, ask a few questions, stress your interest in the company and the job, and give the recruiter your resume. You also want to end every interaction with recruiters with a request. So ask them for their email or other contact information. If this were an in-person event, we'd suggest asking for their business card. You can also ask for an interview, or like I mentioned earlier, ask how you should follow up with them. And make sure that you're making notes on conversations with each recruiter, and don't rely on your memory. So a few more do's and don'ts of career fairs. Again, do be sure to look recruiters in the eye and smile. Be professional, enthusiastic, and courteous. Show a little humor, but not too much. You want to show them that you're personable, but you also don't know them too well, and you don't know their humor too well. So that's why you don't want to show too much. Think of the conversation as a mini interview. So, if it's something that you wouldn't say in an interview, don't talk about it while meeting with recruiters at a career fair. And then some don'ts. Don't be stiff or shy. Try not to ramble or slouch. Be sure not to say anything about yourself, your former boss, or your coworkers. And don't chew gum, eat, or drink while speaking with employers. For virtual career fair, here are some things that you should be doing. So you'll want to send a follow-up email with your resume and thank the employers that you met. This shows the employer that you're really interested in the position. And if you can do it within 24 hours of the career fair, that's even better. Keep your applications in motion. So follow up on instructions for setting up interviews and applying for jobs. And that's where taking notes when you're talking with recruiters is really important so that you make sure you know what you're supposed to be doing to keep your applications in motion. And then persistence pays. Keep in touch with the recruiters that you met. Even if they maybe don't have anything for you right now, just send follow-up emails to them on a monthly basis to let them know that you're still interested either in a specific position or just interested in working for their company if, like I said, if there isn't a position available right now that you're interested in. So just, send those follow-up emails to let them know that you are still interested in working for them. And gentle persistence like that helps keep you on their mind. So if there is a position that comes up that you would be a good fit for, that way they can let you know about it. And if you do end up interviewing for a position, they'll know that you're really serious about getting this job and they'll remember you. So that concludes kind of the presentation part of the workshop. We do have, if you have any questions, you can always, or you need any help, you can always call us or email us to schedule an appointment. We do have walk-in hours available. Tomorrow we will not have walk-in hours, but Valerie, could you send in the chat the Zoom link for students are having issues tomorrow? We will have during the whole career fair tomorrow, we'll have a Zoom room open where if you're having issues or you want to talk to us to get some help, you can come in there and talk to one of us. And then like I said, we are having our virtual diversity and community career fair tomorrow. You can sign up to attend by following that link or scanning that QR code. So does anybody have any questions about anything that I discussed or anything else about career fairs? So you do need, so do we need to pre-register for the fair tomorrow? It is better, if you go pre-register now, because you can go ahead and take a look at the employers that are there. But you don't have to technically register, before a certain time before the career fair. You can register even after the career fair has started. But you do need to register or click attend in order to join queues to talk with employers. And you can register by following, like I said, following that link there, or scanning your QR code. That'll take you right to that page as well. You're welcome. And then Valerie put the link to the Zoom for career fair help in the chat. If you can't see it, it's tinyurl.com/VCF-help. Does anybody have any other questions? Okay. Let's see. You're welcome. And if you do think of any other questions, if you don't have any now, you can feel free, like I said, to contact us, through the OCS email or calling. We will actually be in the office tomorrow, so we'll be able to answer the phone. And I'll go ahead and I'll put in my email as well into the chat if you want to email me directly about questions as well.